Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to continue showing you how to do pattern stitches. Today's stitch is called the diagonal stitch. It's a long stitch pulled diagonally across each group of 3 double crochet. And it gives you this effect where you have this piece that comes across and it makes like a diagonal line all the way across your work, and then the back of it looks like that without the line. So let's get started. To get started, we'll start with a slip knot. And there's an easy way to make your slip knot right there. And pull it up. You're going to start with a chain. You want your chain to be a multiple of 4. So I'm going to do 28 for my sample piece. And to do the chain stitch, just grab your yarn and bring it through your loop. And then you just keep going until you've reached the number of chains that you want, as long as it's a multiple of 4. And here I have 28 chains for my multiple of 4. And then you're going to add one more chain to the end of that number. So if you were doing a longer piece, say with 40 chains, you would do your 40 chains and then add one more to the end of that. So I did 28. Adding one more gave me 29. And we're going to start by single crocheting all the way across our chain. And if you look at your chain, you've got the one side where you've got this V. And then if you flip it over, you can see these bumps on the back, and those are what we're going to work into. So don't count the one that's on the hook, and we're going to skip one. So we're going to skip this first one and work into this second one. And we're going to start with a simple single crochet. So go under your loop, grab your yarn, bring it through, yarn over, and pull through 2. And that's a single crochet, and you're just going to go in every space, working all the way across your chain. And I'll show you here just a couple more. And you're going to do that all the way till the end of your row. And here I am at the end of row 1. And we're going to chain 2. So 1, 2. Turn your work. And to do the diagonal stitch, your first step is you're going to skip 1. So skip this first space and work into the second one. So skip 1 space, double crochet into the next one. So yarn over, go through that second space, pull up your loop, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. And that gives you your double crochet, and you're going to do 3 double crochets. So that was 1. Here's 2. And 3. So that gives you 3 double crochet. The next step in the stitch is to come back to this one that you skipped. You're going to take your hook, come in from behind, and come through. So I'll show you that one more time. You're going to bring your hook, go behind, and bring it through that space. And you're going to pull up a long loop. and you might have to use your fingers to get that first one. You're going to bring that loop up so when you hold your hook, you're even with the top of your double crochet. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through both of those loops. And that is the diagonal stitch. So then you'll skip one, do 3 double crochets, there's 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to come back to that space you skipped, come in from behind your work and go through that space that you skipped, bring up your loop, and then pull the loop all the way up to where you're even with the top of your stitch without pulling it too tight. And that gives you your 2 loops on here. You're going to yarn over and bring through both of those loops. So what you're doing is you're causing your loop that you're making in that skipped space to come all the way diagonally across the 3 double crochets that you made. So here's the last loop that we worked in, and we're going to skip one and do 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, come back to the space that you skipped, come in from behind your work, bring up your loop, and grab your yarn and go through both of those. And if you hold it in place while you're grabbing your yarn, it helps. So now we're going to skip one and do our 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Go back to the one you skipped, come in from behind, and pull up your long loop. Hold it in place while you yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. And as you can see, you start getting those stitches where you've got that long loop going diagonally across your work. And you'll continue doing that till the end of your row. So we worked in this one, so you'll skip this one. You'll do your 3 double crochets, come back to the one you skipped, come in from behind, pull up your long loop, and then yarn over and pull through both of your loops. And you'll do that all the way to the end of your row. Here I am coming up to the end of my row. I've got room to do one more diagonal stitch, so I'm going to skip one, do the 3 double crochets, you're going to make sure you go through that last space. Come back, bring up your long loop, pull through, and then you're going to do one single double crochet in this last little bit right here. See, we worked into that one. It's a little awkward to see. We worked into this one, and then we're going to come down here into this little space down here and do a double crochet. And that'll give us that'll end up being part of our edge. So that's row 2. And what you're going to do is you're going to alternate between doing a row of single crochet followed by a row of diagonal stitch. So the next row, row 3, will be a single crochet. And so we're going to chain 1, turn your work. You're going to skip that first space, and you're going to work a single crochet into each of your spaces here. So we're going to skip this first one and do our single crochet in each space. All the way across your row. And sometimes you might have to stretch it to see where your space is here. You're going to do every space is going to get a single crochet all the way to the end of your row. Up to the end of my row, make sure when you're going across, this little guy likes to hide, that one right before your double crochet. So you might have to use your fingers and open that up so you can make sure you get those. And when you come to the end of your row, you go into this last space here. And then we're going to got your last space done right there. We're going to come over here and go through this little space on the other side of this bump here. And that'll help straighten up your edge. And then we're going to start. So that was row 3. So row 4, we'll do another row of the diagonal stitch. So we're going to chain 2, turn your work, you're going to skip that first space and start your 3 double crochets on that second one. There's 1, 2, and 3. Come back to that space that you skipped. Come in from behind and draw up your long loop. You want to make sure it's not too tight so it's not tugging on your work. And yarn over and then go through both of those. And then you'll continue doing your diagonal stitch. So we're going to skip 1 and do our 3 double crochet. There's 1, 2, 3. Come back to this one you skipped. Bring up your long loop and pull through both of those. Then you'll just continue doing your diagonal stitch all the way across. So we worked into this one. We're going to skip this one, do 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, come back to the one you skipped and bring up your long loop and pull through both of those. And you'll do that all the way to the end of your row. And here I've come to the end of my row. I've done my final diagonal stitch, and then you're just going to double crochet in that last space. And then to turn, you'll chain 1, because your next row is going to be the single crochet. You're going to skip that first one and then work into this next one. And sometimes this little guy right before the double crochets likes to hide, so make sure you're not skipping that one. And you're going to single crochet all the way across. And then when you reach the end of the row, you'll do the same turning as we did on the previous ones. And so you'll continue alternating between your diagonal stitch and your row of, you start with your row of single crochet, then diagonal stitch, a row of single crochet, a row of diagonal stitch, and so on and so forth. So all your odd number rows will be single crochet, your even numbered rows will be the diagonal stitch. And I will go ahead and work up a few rows so I can show you what it looks like. And here we have, I've worked up a few rows, and this is the effect you end up getting. And then the other side looks like this. And then you end up with these little ridges that seem to go in a diagonal. And there you have it. That is the diagonal stitch. Hope you enjoyed my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can find my other videos. And have a great day.